Imagine a world where everything you know about reality is questioned. Welcome to Plato's Parmenides, a dialogue that delves into the very nature of existence, unity, and multiplicity. Stay tuned as we unravel the mysteries of the one and the many. In today's video, we dive deep into one of Plato's most complex and thought-provoking dialogues, Parmenides. Written during Plato's middle to late period, this dialogue engages with the Presocratic philosopher Parmenides of Elea, whose ideas on unity and change starkly contrast with the views of Heraclitus. Through a rigorous critique of his own theory of forms, Plato pushes the boundaries of philosophical thought, questioning the nature of reality itself. To understand Parmenides, we need to explore its historical and philosophical backdrop. Plato was influenced by Parmenides, who argued that reality is singular and unchanging, the one. This idea clashed with Heraclitus's view that reality is in a constant state of flux. Parmenides serves as a platform where Plato examines and challenges these profound ideas. The dialogue is divided into two main parts. In the first part, a young Socrates engages in a discussion with Parmenides and Zeno, presenting the theory of forms. Parmenides subjects this theory to rigorous scrutiny. The second part consists of a series of dialectical exercises led by Parmenides, exploring the consequences of the existence and non-existence of the one. In the initial section of the dialogue, Socrates proposes the theory of forms, suggesting that abstract forms represent the true essence of all things. According to Socrates, there are forms of beauty, justice, equality, and other abstract qualities. These forms are eternal, unchanging, and distinct from the physical world, which is characterized by constant change. Parmenides, however, subjects this theory to a series of rigorous critiques, exposing its potential weaknesses. One of the most famous objections is the third-man argument. This argument posits that if a form, such as largeness, exists because all large things share in it, then a third form must exist to explain how the form of largeness and large things share in largeness, leading to an infinite regress. Parmenides also questions the nature of participation in forms. He asks how particulars can participate in forms without diminishing the form or being part of it. Additionally, he challenges the separation of forms and particulars, suggesting that this separation leads to a dualistic split that is difficult to reconcile. The third-man argument is a central critique in the dialogue and is pivotal in understanding the limitations of the theory of forms. Parmenides argues that if the form of a property, such as largeness, exists independently of large things, then another form must exist to account for the relationship between the form of largeness and the large things. This creates a problematic infinite regress, where each form requires another form to explain its relationship with particulars. This argument challenges the notion of forms as independently existing entities and suggests that the theory may be unable to provide a coherent explanation for the relationship between forms and particulars. The infinite regress implies that the theory of forms may not be able to adequately account for the unity of forms and their instances in the physical world. Parmenides further critiques the theory of forms by addressing the issue of participation. He questions how particulars can participate in forms without either diminishing the form or being part of it. If forms are truly separate from particulars, it is unclear how they can have any connection or relationship with the physical world. This critique is closely related to the one-many problem, which concerns the relationship between the one, the form, and the many, the particulars. Parmenides argues that if forms are completely separate from particulars, then the theory cannot explain how particulars partake in forms. This problem highlights the difficulty of reconciling the unity of forms with the multiplicity of particulars. The second part of the dialogue is even more intricate, consisting of a series of dialectical exercises led by Parmenides. These exercises explore the consequences of two hypotheses, that the one exists and that the one does not exist. In this hypothesis, Parmenides examines what it means for the one to exist. He concludes that if the one exists, it must be completely unified and without parts. This leads to several paradoxical conclusions. The one cannot be in any place because being in a place would imply parts. The one cannot move or change, as any change would imply a transition from one state to another, requiring parts. The one cannot have any attributes, as attributes would imply distinctions within the one. These conclusions suggest that the one, if it exists, is entirely beyond comprehension and description. In this hypothesis, Parmenides explores the consequences if the one does not exist. Surprisingly, he finds that this leads to equally paradoxical conclusions. If the one does not exist, then everything must be composed of multiplicity and diversity. Without the one, there can be no unity or coherence, leading to a chaotic and incoherent reality. The very notion of non-existence implies some form of existence, creating a paradox. These exercises demonstrate the difficulty of reconciling the concepts of unity and multiplicity, challenging the reader to think beyond conventional categories. The dialectical exercises highlight the complex interplay between unity and multiplicity. By exploring the consequences of both the existence and non-existence of the one, Parmenides reveals the inherent tension between these concepts. The exercises show that neither unity nor multiplicity can be fully understood in isolation. Each concept is intertwined with and dependent upon the other. This interplay raises profound questions about the nature of reality. It suggests that reality cannot be adequately captured by a single, unified theory. Instead, it may require a more nuanced and multifaceted approach that acknowledges the interdependence of unity and multiplicity. The dialogue Parmenides presents a profound exploration of the relationship between the one and the many. This relationship is central to many areas of philosophy, including metaphysics, epistemology, and ontology. The dialogue challenges the coherence of the theory of forms, suggesting that the relationship between the one, the forms, and the many, the particulars, is fraught with paradoxes. It raises questions about the nature of reality and whether it is ultimately one or many. This tension between unity and multiplicity remains a central issue in metaphysics. In metaphysics, the question of whether reality is fundamentally one or many has been a topic of debate since the time of the pre-Socratic philosophers. The Dialogue Parmenides contributes to this debate by highlighting the difficulties of maintaining a strict dichotomy between unity and multiplicity. It suggests that a more integrated and holistic approach may be necessary to fully understand the nature of reality. The critique of the theory of forms also has significant epistemological implications. It questions how we can have knowledge of the forms if they are entirely separate from the particulars. This challenges the notion of objective knowledge and suggests that our understanding of reality may be more complex and uncertain than previously thought. The dialogue raises questions about the possibility of attaining true knowledge. If forms are separate from particulars, then our sensory experiences of the physical world may not provide us with accurate knowledge of the forms. This problem highlights the limitations of human cognition and the potential for error in our understanding of reality. The dialogue explores the nature of existence itself, questioning what it means for something to exist or not exist. The dialectical exercises highlight the difficulty of defining existence and non-existence, suggesting that our ontological categories may be inadequate to capture the true nature of reality. In ontology, the question of what it means to exist is a fundamental issue. The dialogue Parmenides challenges conventional notions of existence by exploring the paradoxes and contradictions that arise when we try to define existence and non-existence. It suggests that a more nuanced and flexible approach to ontology may be necessary to fully understand the nature of reality. The dialogue Parmenides also highlights the importance of dialectic in Plato's philosophy. Dialectic, the art of dialogue and critical examination, is central to Plato's method. Through dialectic, Plato explores complex philosophical issues, uncovering underlying assumptions and revealing deeper truths. In Parmenides, the dialectical method is used to challenge and refine the theory of forms. By subjecting the theory to rigorous critique, Plato demonstrates the importance of critical examination and the willingness to question even the most foundational beliefs. This approach reflects Plato's commitment to the pursuit of truth and the recognition that philosophical inquiry is an ongoing and dynamic process. Dialectic is not merely a method of argumentation, but a way of engaging with philosophical problems. It involves a process of questioning, examining, and refining ideas through dialogue and debate. This process allows for a deeper understanding of complex issues and helps to uncover hidden assumptions and potential inconsistencies. In the dialogue Parmenides, the dialectical method is used to explore the relationship between the one and the many. The dialectical exercises led by Parmenides reveal the complexities and paradoxes inherent in these concepts. By engaging in these exercises, the participants are forced to confront the limitations of their own understanding and to seek a deeper and more nuanced perspective. The use of dialectic in Parmenides reflects Plato's belief that philosophical inquiry is an ongoing and dynamic process. It requires a willingness to question and to engage in critical examination, even of one's own most cherished beliefs. This approach encourages a spirit of intellectual humility and openness to new insights and perspectives. The dialogue Parmenides has had a profound impact on the history of philosophy. Its exploration of the concepts of unity and multiplicity, its critique of the theory of forms, and its use of the dialectical method have influenced many subsequent philosophers and philosophical traditions. The dialogue Parmenides played a significant role in the development of Neoplatonism, a philosophical movement that emerged in the 3rd century CE. Neoplatonists, such as Plotinus, drew heavily on the ideas presented in Parmenides to develop their own metaphysical systems. They sought to reconcile the concepts of unity and multiplicity by positing a hierarchical structure of reality, with the one at the top and the many emanating from it. The dialogue also had a significant impact on medieval philosophy, particularly within the context of Christian theology. Medieval philosophers, such as Augustine and Thomas Aquinas, engaged with the ideas presented in Parmenides to develop their own metaphysical and theological systems. They sought to reconcile the concepts of unity and multiplicity within the framework of Christian doctrine, exploring the relationship between God, the one, and creation, the many. The dialogue Parmenides continues to be a source of inspiration and debate in modern and contemporary philosophy. Its exploration of the concepts of unity and multiplicity, its critique of the theory of forms, and its use of the dialectical method have influenced many subsequent philosophical movements, including German idealism, existentialism, and postmodernism. Philosophers such as Hegel and Schelling drew on the ideas presented in Parmenides to develop their own metaphysical systems. They sought to reconcile the concepts of unity and multiplicity within the framework of German idealism, exploring the dynamic and dialectical nature of reality. Existentialist philosophers, such as Jean-Paul Sartre and Martin Heidegger, engaged with the ideas presented in Parmenides to develop their own philosophical systems. They explored the concepts of unity and multiplicity within the context of human existence, emphasizing the importance of individual experience and the complexity of the human condition. Postmodern philosophers, such as Gilles Deleuze and Jacques Derrida, have also engaged with the ideas presented in Parmenides. They have explored the concepts of unity and multiplicity within the context of postmodern thought, emphasizing the fluid and dynamic nature of reality and the limitations of traditional metaphysical categories. Plato's dialogue Parmenides is a profound and challenging exploration of the concepts of the one and the many. Through a combination of rigorous critique and dialectical exercises, Plato delves into the complexities of unity and multiplicity, questioning the nature of reality and our ability to comprehend it. The dialogue raises fundamental philosophical questions that continue to resonate in contemporary thought, highlighting the enduring relevance of Plato's work. Parmenides invites readers to engage deeply with the tensions and paradoxes inherent in philosophical inquiry, encouraging a spirit of critical examination and intellectual humility. In exploring the one and the many, Plato not only challenges his own theory of forms, but also pushes the boundaries of philosophical thought, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to inspire and provoke reflection. The dialogue's exploration of the relationship between the one and the many has had a profound impact on the history of philosophy, influencing many subsequent philosophical traditions. Its use of the dialectical method, its critique of the theory of forms, and its exploration of the concepts of unity and multiplicity have left a lasting legacy that continues to shape philosophical inquiry to this day. In conclusion, Plato's Parmenides is a work of remarkable depth and complexity, offering a profound exploration of some of the most fundamental questions in philosophy. Its exploration of the concepts of the one and the many, its critique of the theory of forms, and its use of the dialectical method make it a work of enduring significance, challenging and inspiring readers to engage deeply with the complexities of philosophical inquiry. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into philosophical thought. Share your thoughts on Plato's Parmenides in the comments below.